here, come and share a little bit about that. So also, if you didn't make Riverfest, I know Mark's gonna talk about this at the end. Mark, your crew, police and fire department, they did an exceptional job. I'm telling you, it was a great event. And how it's all organized and how y'all run that, I know it just takes a lot of teamwork, but I know you'll share us with that a little bit later.
Thank you very much.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Harris,
Here.
Vice Mayor Dixon,
Here.
Councilmember Bivens,
Here.
Councilmember Cardwell,
Here.
Councilmember Webster.
Here.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to the monthly meeting of the Loudon City Council. My name is Mayor Jeff Harris. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our meeting tonight. Tennessee law gives every Tennessean the right to attend city council meetings and to see how their government operates. We appreciate that each one of you have taken time from your own personal schedules in order to attend our meeting tonight. As your chairman, it's my intention that we create a space where everyone feels seen, heard, respected, and valued. You should have a copy of tonight's agenda. If you do not have one, you can pick one up on the table at the back of the room. This agenda is your guide to the topics we'll be discussing tonight. In order to conduct efficient business-like meetings, the council has adopted some specific rules to follow. Primarily, these rules are to keep the meeting moving, to ensure that all points of view are heard and considered, and to provide for common courtesy. In a few minutes, we'll come to the place on the agenda entitled Citizens Input, where anyone who has signed in is encouraged to approach council with any question they may have. We do ask that you wait until you've been recognized before you speak. Please approach the podium after being recognized and follow 3 simple rules. At the beginning, just state your name for the records. Address all your questions to the chairman and avoid the use of improper language, profanity, or any other inappropriate conduct. Once the citizens' input portion is completed, the council will proceed with the rest of the agenda. You're welcome to stay and observe the meeting, but be advised that public comments may be limited. We ask that everyone remember we're doing the people's business here tonight. It's a very important responsibility for all of us. You can help us do this business by observing the rules that we've established for our meeting. Again, welcome to the Loudon City Council meeting. We're glad you're here tonight. First item on the agenda is to adopt our agenda, that you have a copy of it. What's the pleasure of council?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second to adopt the agenda?
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our agenda is adopted as printed. Next item is citizens input. We have a representative from the Loudon Diamond Baseball Club, Mr. Michael Grady.
Hey guys, we purpose was to come here and kind of address you guys and Mayor Harris, council members, Manager Ross. We want to say thank you because we couldn't do this program down at the baseball fields without you guys, without your support, without Mark Harrell and their crew. This was one of our biggest seasons yet. Myself, I'm the vice president, supposed to be co-vice president, but Mike Brubaker kind of he went and got big on us. It might have been all this training better thing now. But President Garner, treasurers Bill and Kathy Collick, Justin Manus was our secretary, softball commissioner Josh Hawkins, baseball commissioner Jerome Manson, and concessions. We all know Melinda does a fantastic job with concessions. Melinda Allman. We started our season in February, before the end of February with sign-ups, before that with meetings and everything, and actually just wrapped up. I know everybody's thinking, why is this guy talking about baseball and football seasons right here? But with our last team wrapped up on the 19th of July coming home from state. 299 kids, about almost with that and coaches, we had about 400 people participate in our program this year, which was huge. Along with that was 8 wee ball teams. I'll tell you, wee ball is basically 3 and 4 year olds that haven't got to the division. So you can imagine 8 teams with about 7 to 8 wee ballers running around. Takes a lot to just control that chaos right there. But we had multiple surrounding counties we fall under Dixie Youth, so that covers multiple counties around the area that are coming here. We're having games on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, so you're having a lot of people from surrounding areas that come in here and visit our facility. And they, overall, the most common thing we hear is how great of a facility we have. Hands down, when you go to a meeting with, Sweetwater, one of the comments during it was, they were complaining about the space at Sweetwater, and the director of Dixie Youth down there said, look, we don't all have a facility like Loudon. And we're very blessed with that facility. So, all of our all-star teams, so that was softball, all that participation was softball, regular season. And, I'm gonna ask you guys to stand up. Brady Jameson, J.C. Garner, Parker Longmire were part of, J.C. was on our 8U all-star teams that made it to the top 3 in the state in their division. And Parker and Brady here, and along with Coach Greg Jameson right here, if he has articles in the newspaper, he will sign them for you if you ask him nicely. But they made it to runner-up in the state, which is a fantastic job. Our 6U team made it to the top 8 in Fairview, and our 12U team made it to the top 16 in Harriman. The 10U guys went all the way to Savannah, Tennessee, and what I've heard based off the cell phone signals, there's not a lot in Savannah, Tennessee. But we actually turned around, we held one district. We weren't expecting to hold any district tournaments this year for All-Stars. One of the surrounding counties didn't meet Dixie Youth's expectations. So within 18 hours, we turned around a state tournament with the help of volunteers within the program in the city. We turned around a 10U tournament, district all-star tournament in less than 18 hours, which is a little bit chaotic, but Mark Harrell's team, again, getting the fields ready, doing all the things that they do, couldn't do it without them. Saying all that, we've been notified that we're in the running for a 2023 10U state tournament, which would mean, so that's about anywhere from, I did the math based off of this year's participation, about 23 teams, 23 teams, and you'll have one team from Loudon that will automatically get to play in this. That means around 11 kids per team, not counting coaches and everything. You're going to have around 230 plus families that would be coming to our area, spending from a Thursday to what you guys wrapped up on a Tuesday. Worst case scenario, I think that with rain and stuff, they push it to Wednesday, but that's a lot of exposure from all over the state coming to our area. We won't be able to do that without you guys, without community support. So we're asking, when we put in the bid for this, it's gonna take letters from the mayor, from the city manager, from the police and fire, showing that we have the capabilities of doing that. Well, I mentioned this to Mayor Harris. I love it because first thing out of his mouth, I was talking about how I went to Fairview, I went to those guys and saw Greenbrier, and the comment was, I said how nice of a tournament, how much the turnout was, and Jeff's immediate response was, we can do it better, because honestly we can't. I mean, we've got the facilities to do, but we want to say thank you again. Thanks to all you guys for letting us use that facility for this program. A lot of kids, the future's bright for Loudon. We've always really compared ourselves when I know Brubaker and Kent had a big, we've always over the years when it comes to all-stars and stuff, compared ourselves to other programs. Now other programs are really comparing themselves to us. We had first time all 4 teams qualified for state. That's, I mean, it's huge. And again, we want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I know I speak for the behalf of those guys that we couldn't do it without you. So we appreciate you. Thank you very much, okay?
Thank you.
Can I add one thing?
Yes, you can.
I talked to one of the commissioners when we were at Savannah. If a team stays 5 days, they anticipate each family is gonna spend anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200 while they're there. We went over on a Wednesday and didn't come home till Tuesday. So our team was there.
How much did you spend?
But that's, you know, that's lodging, that's food, so it can be a big boost for the economy right here, you know.
Have we ever had a state tournament before?
According to Mike, we've had 2, but it's been
2 12Us.
2 12Us, which once they get older, sorry, stand back up. But once they get older, the little less teams. I think with 10U, I'm not sure with 12U. That's kind of as they get older, they start doing other sports and kind of, it starts dwindling down, but 10U is a great size group.
So is the 10U, the
10U is
one
what we're
we're
in the running for,
for,
yes.
the 10U?
Yes. So it'll be big for the area if we can get that.
We've already worked with Mandy Wolf, we've already sat down and talked to her, she is very excited about the prospects. And we have to go in October and present, we have to do a presentation in front of all those commissioners. And based off of our presentation, then they'll make a selection, it's us and Rockwood that are in the running for this tournament this year.
I thought Harriman put in for it, but I suspect Harriman didn't because they just had one.
They just had one, so there's kind of not in the running, but it's between us and Rockwood, so.
But if I mean, if it helps if I would go to make it, you know, it doesn't matter, I mean, you know. If we
We'll take all the support we can get.
Well, I mean, I wanted them to come because, I mean, some of you may know from coaching, I know Tim and Bumper and John know it, they volunteer a lot of time. A lot of time is invested in coaching and working with those kids, and, they did farther than they've ever went before, as many teams.
Yeah.
So, we need to just, our hats off to you guys for doing the program and working with the kids, because you're making a difference, and I appreciate you all what you do. Any comments or questions from council for the group, anybody?
It's just been a very exciting season.
Oh, yes, it has,
Been
very exciting.
I know the
So,
kids are excited.
This is the first time I've been involved with youth sports since '81. And, this is the first time ever that we've had 4 teams to make it to the state tournament in any youth sport. That's big.
And not only making it,
That says something for your leadership, says something about your coaches, putting in all the time that it takes, and especially your young kids.
not only making it, but
They've
making
worked
a
hard.
splash. And
Sure
there's
have.
a lot of wins came out of this year. That's big. So.
But if you go back several years before, they started back up, and we were losing kids like crazy going to other counties around us. I mean, they weren't playing here.
And when we started that program back in 2012, and then without Director Harold, it wouldn't have been possible, but we took some lumps.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We took a lot of seasons with no wins across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to see where it's at, it's huge.
It's
Yeah,
a big accomplishment.
Oh, from where it was to where it is now, it's huge, big difference.
Is that a Dixie Youth?
Yes, Dixie, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I thought.
And then we've got one of the best parks around, ballpark. I mean, we're the envy of a lot of communities, so, you know, it won't be hard for us to put on a first-class thing.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys. All right, next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. You have a copy of the minutes were emailed out. This was held on July 25th, 2022.
Yes, Mayor, I've reviewed the minutes and I recommend they be approved.
Okay, we have a motion from council.
I make a motion.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from July 25th, 2022? Is there any questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is fuel bids. The low bid for the purchase of fuel of August 15th, 2022 was received from Petroleum Traders for the projected amount of $25,987.50. That was a rate of unleaded gasoline $3.18 and low sulfur undiet diesel at $3.65.
I make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the fuel bid to Petroleum Traders. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is, ordinance on second reading. We had a public hearing on these items with no comments. First one is amending the 2022-2023 fiscal year budget. This budget amendment seeks to capture the public safety item of $20,000 for radios that was approved October 2021. This equipment was unable to be procured at the time, as Manager Ross presented at the workshop by fiscal year end, and we're recommending this amendment so that the equipment can, which I guess is still on back order, is it?
Correct.
As far as
Departments came in, but we're still missing.
Okay, this way it can be purchased for this fiscal year.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to amend the 2022-2023 fiscal year budget. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions about the amendment? No questions, ask for a roll call, please.
Councilmember Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Vivens,
Aye.
Councilmember Cardwell,
Aye.
Councilmember Webster.
Aye.
Mayor Harris.
Aye.
Thank you.
Ordinance passes. Next ordinance on second reading is the closing sections of Green Street and Gay Street between Poplar Street and Hackberry Street. Loudon County Economic Development Director Jack Walsh went over this in the workshop on behalf of the IDB to facilitate construction of certain sections of Lake Shore Loudon. The subject streets are portions of Gay Street and Green Street, and we saw the plat about those from the Loudon Regional Planning Commission. So, Ty, you wanna, anything about that note? We didn't do the closing, because of the survey, I guess.
The closing was scheduled for the 19th, but the Alta survey, American Land Title Association survey showing with specificity, and this is for the lender, what all's going on with the property is not complete, but they expect it to close this week.
They're expecting it this week, right? So that is, we wanted to make sure that council's aware of that. The closing was delayed, due to a survey, that the title company's requiring, so.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to
Second.
approve, we have a motion and a second to approve the closing of these streets. Is there any questions? Just want to make sure that no one has a question about the closing, and because that did not take place after the workshop, and that's, we discussed that it was.
Right. And I mean, we're having to close these to facilitate the transfer of these properties to the developer, but there will be a throughway eventually. They just will not be.
May not be in the same place.
Right, and they may not be city streets. We haven't got that far yet.
Okay, any questions before we vote? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Vivens.
Aye.
Councilmember Dixon.
Aye.
Councilmember Cardwell.
Aye.
Councilmember Webster.
Aye.
Mayor Harris.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, the last ordinance on second reading that we have is amended the 2021-2022 fiscal year budget, and our city recorder, Melissa Huskin, identified some budget amendments that we need to kind of just do a little housekeeping here, which is something we do every year. Those items are listed in the resolution. If you have any questions, I'm sure she'll be happy to answer those. What's the pleasure of council?
I'll make a motion to accept the minute.
Okay, we have a motion to amend the 2021-2022 fiscal year budget. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions? To say, if there is a question about a specific one, we can try to get that answered. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Dixon.
Aye.
Councilmember Webster.
Aye.
Councilmember Vivens.
Aye.
Councilmember Cardwell.
Aye.
Mayor Harris.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, amendment on, ordinance on first reading is amending the 2022-2023 fiscal year budget. This budget amendment captures the two additional public safety positions of deputy chief, fire chief, and deputy police chief from November 2022 through June 2023. And it also contains the Van Hootsville's Gateway sign recategorization, which we discussed at the workshop.
I'll make a motion to amend.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any question, any clarification anyone needs on that before we vote? We discussed these at the workshop. There been a question come up since then. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Dixon.
Aye.
Councilmember Vivens.
Aye.
Councilmember Cardwell.
Aye.
Councilmember Webster.
Aye.
Mayor Harris.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, do we need to set up, let's say
Please.
6:25 for that?
On September 26th.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Next section is for our resolutions. First resolution authorizing the cleaning of the awnings and sidewalks in the downtown courthouse square area. This was presented, the quotes was presented by our downtown coordinator Kathy Price at our workshop, which was, she saw quotes from 4 different vendors. She received 2, and she recommended that the work be done and performed by the low bidder K-Tech Exteriors for the amount of $4,702.45.
I make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilmember Bivens. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion second to approve K-Tech Exteriors to take care of the awnings and sidewalks. Is there any question? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Second item is authorizing certain facilities and maintenance department items and equipment to be considered surplus. Director Harrell presented that list at our workshop. Very extensive list there, several items on the list. So his request is to put this on gov deals, correct?
Yes, and there's the addition of 5 buckets.
Oh,
So
wow.
this is depicted on the screen.
I'll vote.
I make a motion.
With the added buckets.
With the added buckets.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to put, these items that were presented by Director Harrell with the addition of the 5 buckets on gov deals. Any question?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Let the bidding begin. Next item is authorizing the purchase of Extreme Back DCL 800 SMS leaf machine. Manager Ross, I'll let you pitch this. We got it sitting outside, I think.
It is sitting outside, and Director Harrell made arrangements for that, so you can get up close and personal to it. And he has also brought the representative from the vendor, should you have any specific questions about this piece of
Appreciate you
equipment.
bringing it down, sir. Anybody?
Pay attention to the pictures here that I tried to send out a couple of weeks ago. This is actually the vehicle in action, pouring rain, and the benefit of having a vehicle like this when it is raining.
It's not leaning, is it?
It's not leaning too bad. No, it's not leaning.
Yeah, that's, okay, it's a one-man operation, correct?
Except on the picture you had.
Yes, sir.
So this is at the cost of, the 195, 450, is that the,
Yes.
that's the demo that we're talking about?
That's
That's
correct.
the one that, okay,
It does have a new warranty, new vehicle warranty on
okay.
I make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to purchase this, machine, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any questions? This money is already in your budget,
the.
correct?
Yes, sir.
It was allocated as capital, expenditures.
Yeah.
Any questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And you can, see if it'll suck your pant leg up here in a minute. Suck your shoes off. All right, next item on the agenda is amending the resolution, number 2022-39, which is amending the pay classification plan adopted June 27th, 2022 of this year to establish the positions of deputy fire chief and deputy police chief. We discussed this at the workshop, and maybe some more discussion needs to take place on it. Manager Ross, you.
Mayor, your budget amendment, first reading begins the process of appropriating funds for these 2 positions. This resolution authorizes the positions in your personnel schedule and will enable us to go ahead and make the advertisements and we see the
Start the interview process.
significant onboarding process.
Okay, any questions? I'm sure Chief Brubaker, Director Brown, Manager Ross can answer any questions if there are questions about it.
Make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to amend this resolution, the pay classification plan. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions before we vote? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, establish the positions, y'all can start the process. Next item was not workshop, it's new on our agenda, but I think it's something we can discuss, here tonight and take action on. It's amending resolution number 2239, the same pay classification plan, which was adopted June 27th. But this is to amend the number of positions of skilled laborer and operator. So this would decrease the skilled labor to 3 and increase the operator to 6. And this is due to an internal move, I think, correct?
Yeah, Director Harrell suffered this internal move, this is the advancement of a member of his staff, and he's recommending this change to the personnel schedule so that when he hires to fill this position, it would be different in this regard.
So Mark, you wanna explain to council just what you're seeing is why you need a laborer?
Basically,
Or an operator.
there's three paid positions in our facility and maintenance. You have a skilled operator, you have an operator, you have a laborer. And the skilled operator should be able to do just about, supposed to be able to do everything that you have. The operator pretty much does everything that we have, and the laborer is just, as it says, it's a laborer. We've talked about internally, maybe even changing the names of the positions to make it sound more in line with what they actually do. Generally, someone comes in, they're hired in as a laborer. They start out on that product, and then they advance up to operator. They advance up after they get the skills of operator, then we hope they advance to a skilled position. And with our two priorities, I guess, in my 13, 14 months I've been there, have been mowing. Sanitation is number one. Sanitation takes about 90% of our time. And landscaping is number two, and it's taken the other 8 of the 10% that's left. We've really taken the landscaping part very serious, and we've tackled some things. We've widened the medians and things, and we've tried to increase the looks of Loudon and to go along coincide with the looking of Loudon program. And then the skilled operation is the guys that should be able to do electrical, HVAC, carpenter work, things like that. It's probably the least used, I hate to say that, position we have, because we really just don't have time. We don't have the manpower to have people in HVAC, electrical, and things like that. So the three that we have are well qualified, they do a good job. But the operator position, if you guys would approve it, I'd ask for 3 more tonight. That's just where we're at. So advancing from a labor position into an operator position would be beneficial to the organization.
So you can just, from Director Harrell's, there's 12, 13 months in there, he's just tried to evaluate and make some changes, and this is the recommendation he sees, that he needs this person, this position more than the skilled operator position.
That's correct. And we also really emphasize advancement. We really want these young guys that are coming in here to be able to advance, go on work on the back of the sanitation stuff their entire life. This will help that advancement a little bit as well. Everybody doesn't have the skill or labor technology and things with them, but be able to mow and do things that operators do, this will help those younger guys advance a little faster.
Well, you could do, some cross-training out that would help that as well.
That's true, yes, sir. We do a lot of cross-training.
Okay.
So you do have the opportunity to cross-train them,
We do,
even though you're so busy in your trash pickup,
yes.
mowing, and this type of thing?
Wednesdays aren't trash.
If you know the old saying with Public Works, we'll do it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's the only day we do not pick up
Mhm.
sanitation.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, we have 9 of 15 guys that dedicate to sanitation those other days. And Wednesday now has become a pickup day for sanitation. It's, we're using guys to go get things, odds and ends, so, it's really consuming our time. It's a huge undertaking.
Well, this is the director's recommendation, which I think speaks well for, it's what he needs, it's what he wants. He's done the work to bring it up to council, and that's what he needs, so I think it's important that we support him.
A couple of questions. Go over the hierarchy for me again.
Skilled labor is the top, operator is the middle, laborer is the higher end, basically.
So you're reducing 1 from the top, is that correct?
Going from
That's
4 to
correct.
3.
So 4 to 3, and then your operator, so you're just dropping down a level.
That's
So what's the net effect on budget? That should save you money?
It will,
Okay.
yes.
And then the job you post is gonna be what?
Operator.
Operator?
Yes,
Okay,
operator. And then if someone moves up from operator, then we'll.
then you post a labor. Yeah, okay.
It just helps those guys transition. to
Exactly.
Lower levels. Right.
My concern question's gonna be the skilled labor that we lost that's moving was he was a big to-do to hire.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had construction and he had HVAC, and that was very crucial to the terminology of facilities and maintenance department.
That's correct.
Losing that position, what's that gonna, what will that do to us in that department? Because, I mean, that was very crucial. We actually created this job to be able to combine the two departments and call it facilities and maintenance.
In my 13 months, we haven't gotten to where that position was as crucial as I think it was on the street, is what we were talking about.
Okay, so that position ended up not being as detrimental as,
It's a very much needed position, but with the manpower we have, we just don't have the funds and the manpower to assist that position. We would love to build and do more things in-house, but again, 90% of your time is sanitation.
will we have to contract those services out?
The only thing I'm looking at possibly contracting out would be HVAC repair, maybe installation, but electrical is okay. We didn't have anybody certified to do electrical work anyway, to come in and get a permit and do it from A to Z. The person we're talking about did not have that qualification. So we would still have to hire a certified electrician to bring it to that point, then we could take point B on in the building. We can still do that, we still have that expertise in-house, and we still have qualified guys that can do that. So, to say that we lost someone in electrical, we really didn't. We did lose a little bit in HVAC. Plumbing, we still have, plumbing we still do in-house, our skilled laborers are well, I hate to call it skilled labor, I like to just say skilled. It's bad to put the labor behind that, but I feel we're well qualified to do plumbing. So I don't really know that we lost a whole lot. The tie comes in tomorrow and says, let's go down here and build 1,200 square foot building. We probably did lose that one.
Well, we did hire someone too that's got the construction experience after this, after this gentleman was hired. We hired another, add another skilled labor that has a lot of those qualifications, that we didn't have.
He's actually qualified, he's actually listed as a laborer, the person to speak of.
Okay,
He was hired in. as a
he's got that skill set
laborer.
though.
He has his skill.
Yeah.
So if need to be, he could be moved up into that.
When it's time for advancement, he could move up, he's not been here long enough yet.
Yeah, could be
Right,
2 years.
right.
Well, my recommendation would be this department, I've said it since I got elected 4 years ago, and I'll continue to say it. This department needs to grow, the city's growing,
It is.
and I would highly recommend that on the next budget cycle, I would like to see you put in as many people as you could put in, and what gets approved, gets approved.
Well, I think Manager
But-
Ross and I really hit pretty hard on the sanitation end. When you add 300 customers in my 13 months,
Mhm.
it's, and you haven't had staff, what gives? Talking to Barry, garbage trucks are next, pork trucks are next, talking $300,000-$400,000 piece of equipment. Guys on the back of those, we just heard at the LUB meeting, Tennessee National, their growth plans, and we're behind. The sanitation is what's eating us up. I like to say we're a well-qualified sanitation department. And there's a couple other things that we do that we shouldn't be doing, and I are working on that as well with the LUB.
Okay, well, we've heard that. What's the pleasure of council? Do we have a motion yet?
No.
Okay.
No.
Someone make a motion to amend it?
I'll make all others, I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to amend the number of positions of skilled labor and operator that Director Harrell mentioned. We have a second.
Second.
Okay, so Bumper. All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any other questions? As I say, I know this was not on the workshop, so we took a little more time here to kind of hash around, but I think we could go ahead and take care of it here and not have to postpone it for another month. If everybody feels comfortable floating on it tonight. Any questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is appointments. We do have some appointments. As we know, Councilmember Cardwell was on the IDB. He had to resign that position because he couldn't hold that position and be an elected official. So I've approached Scott Wilson, who's on the Planning Commission. Scott Wilson has agreed to finish out Mr. Cardwell's term. So I also have two more on the IDB. Do we need to take these individually, Attorney Fry?
Are these replacements or
These are just, they're gonna sign back up.
it's just a reappointment?
Yeah, reappointment.
I think we just take it in one then.
Okay, even Scott Wilson?
No, Scott Wilson.
Scott by itself, okay. So, it takes council approval, so my recommendation is to, appoint Scott Wilson to fill the seat vacated by John Cardwell. All those in favor of that, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, so Scott Wilson will fill that seat. The other two that come up this month is David Mears and Renee McGill Schultz. They both agreed to serve again, and we're eager and excited to do that. So I'd like to reappoint them, and that would be my recommendation, to appoint them to the IDB. All those agree with that, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, so they'll be reappointed. That was all the appointments that I saw. Did you see more, Megan?
I didn't find anything.
Okay. All right. Next item is department reports. So we'll see. We'll start with you, Mr. Hogan. You got an update on roads and paving? That's kind of a hot topic right now.
It is. Wanted to update on an inquiry from workshop about the I-75 southbound off-ramp signalization. At that meeting, I reported that there was a conflict of the ramp widening and the signal poles.
Mm-hmm.
The developer and the developer's engineer submitted revised plans to TDOT, so they'll likely review and accept those. But the long and short of it is that they don't anticipate a change in the timeline, given that what they procured back late spring, early summer, as far as poles and mast homes go, should still be fine for the revised
You
plan.
can see the bases are out there. The base is poured.
Yes, sir, and one of those locations will change.
Okay.
Due to coordination between the two projects, one being the developer's installation of the signal, the other Department of Transportation's off-ramp widening.
Okay.
So now those two have been coordinated. You'll see a change in one pole location. That should happen around October, November timeframe, but it'll coincide with operation and opening of Love's Trout Stop. So that's the criteria that they've been asked to follow.
Okay.
And so that's an update on that. Should see starting midweek widening of 72. They'll start with milling, and they'll remove part of the surface, but they're also reshaping that section of 72 to widen lanes and tie in at the new intersection of Queener. So for there'll be a temporary mill condition until a separate set of equipment and crews will mobilize to pave. But that should happen this week, possibly finishing early next week, but hopefully before, depending on progress. To facilitate that work, we have had to shift our 2022 paving from this week to next week, Monday. So we hope to get some signage updated and notify the public of those changes. So
That's
that
for
would be-
Marymount, Cedar, and Keene, and the other streets. Okay.
Yes, sir. So that slight change of schedule there, but everything should be delivered by early September.
Okay. And Country Lane?
Country Lane is we have binder asphalt down. The contractor is doing some fine grading around the roadside. And we'll clean that up, and then we'll do a final surface.
So it's on track.
asphalt. Yes, sir, it's on schedule.
Okay. Any questions for?
On Queener, is there gonna be another top coat put on that, or is that the final that's on it right now?
What's on it right now is there's a binder course and what's called an A-mix. So there's 3 levels or layers of asphalt on that road. 2 are down, and the topping will go down when the topping goes on Highway 72.
And when,
So
what time frame are you looking at for that?
that's this week when we mill, and then so.
So when they do this widening 72, then they're gonna pay from there the whole top coat over?
Yes, sir, it'll be just kind of setting that whole intersection together.
And how do we get all these updates on our website so the public knows that?
As far as progress updates or?
So if somebody has a question like we did, there's a place they can go to find out the timelines. How do we get that out to the public?
We don't have that in place. We've recently updated our website, but don't have that functionality.
It's been shared on social media, I think, it's at this point.
We can share the same progress updates we share with you, but it being under contract, you know, we can't say exactly when future events will happen.
I don't think people
But I
know
think-
exactly.
But I think,
What you just gave is a ballpark, just so they can generally have a feeling things are moving forward. So is that something we can get on the website?
yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Sir.
Chief Brubaker, do you have anything to?
Just one thing, Mayor, from our building and code department and our code enforcement officer, Anthony Dorner's here. Last week, we had a property removed on Upper Street. Just to give you an update, this program with Manager Ross's vision of the 5 to Fix. And just over 2 years, we've had 12 properties that have been addressed and 10 of them removed. And as Attorney Fry can attest, some of these get lengthy and a lot of hard work goes into that by him and Anthony and Travis Gray, and a lot of their work is thankless, so I wanted to point it out to you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Do you know, Anthony, what's with the yard, the grass up here in front of Texas and,
Letters went out.
okay. Several people have asked me about it, you know, and that it's getting pretty tall up there.
It's a process that we have to go through.
Yeah. So y'all sent the letters out on that, okay. They, like I said, it's a thankless job a lot of times. They don't hear anything unless it's a complaint most of the time. They don't get the attaboys many times, but Anthony, y'all doing a good job with the cleanup and everything. Appreciate that. Director Brown, do you have anything?
No, sir, let's see.
City Recorder Huskin, do you have anything?
No, sir, thank you.
All right. All right, Mark, guess we're up to you.
I noticed you didn't make eye contact with me. Yeah, I do have a couple of things. First of all, I wasn't prepared to speak about the Diamond Club, but, I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, when Mike and
2012.
we sat down and started talking about this, I was sitting there with my fingers crossed there at the table, I said, gosh, don't let this fall through, I hope they take it, and they did. He and Kent Russell have done a fantastic job getting it off the ground and working, as you say, countless hours without any recognition and taking those late night phone calls, and that was nice. And then my concern after that is how we ended up with baseball was, it just fell apart, and it just kind of ended up in our lap. So we took baseball, we had several years till 2012, I guess, that we couldn't find anyone to really manage it. So then the concern is what happens after Mike and Kent decide what they're done with it. It's been phenomenal. Bill, Michael, Greg, these guys, look at these kids, I mean, it's just been thankless. I mean, they do it, they go down there every night, they work their tails off, they call every now and then, they need some water or something like that. So big hats off to these guys, they do a fantastic job. And as I mentioned, Mark Harrell and his team, it's the team, it is the team that keeps this thing going. It starts with you guys, as I said, at the utility board meeting. And Michael Hogan and I, we've been talking about it, we haven't forgotten it, we're gonna try to change Bill 1 for them and put the bases of the way they talk about, do the cutouts. We're just behind like everybody else, so that's in our plan, and we're really working fiercely to do that. But again, the thanks need to go to you guys. It's keeping it going, keeping it supported. Loudon Municipal Park opened in March of 1999, and we have people that come in here today and think that it just opened in the last few years. So we've been fortunate to have funding, we've been fortunate to be able to keep it funded and keep it in pretty good shape. So we're very proud of that. So thank you guys again, keep up the good work and keep my fingers crossed that you're going to continue with this program. A couple of things I'd like to talk about tonight is Manager Ross has the L on the screen up there. If you notice in the backdrop there, Loudon Utilities hung the moon for us. I don't know where that L came from, but no, I got that backwards. There's actually a little project we thought about at the local community pride here. As we talked about putting banners up, buying new banners, doing things that sort of different ways. I talked with John Evans, he's our kind of our fabricator with this. And can we build this? And of course, he said, yeah, let's try it. So we built a model, and Jeff and Jason, they all get in there, and they start talking about this. We built a model to go from with some LED lights on it. Actually, that thing is about 6 foot tall and weighs somewhere around 60 pounds. So it's a lot larger than it actually looks, and it's of course heavier. As I spoke about at the OUV meeting, I think it's, Bill Watkins said less than $100 for all 7 of those L's for 10 months out of the year to operate. They're very energy efficient, they're LED, and we're very excited that cost is very minimal. And we have 7 of them at Loudon High School, and we had them operational by the first day of school. And first football game, we hope that everyone enjoys, and everybody are enjoyed, and loves them as much as we do. We've had a lot of good people support it. I think it's really nice. We even had people ask to put them in the municipal park, so let me come in there and see those. Second thing I'd like to talk about is Riverfest. This is the 11th year of Riverfest. It keeps growing with leaps and bounds. Again, that's teamwork. That's teamwork again for you guys. And it's just amazing to go down there and see the things how we've grown these departments and how we've done things. Chief Brubaker, Director Brubaker had both departments covered very well with police and fire. We had an incident that one of our employees' sons falls and busts his head. And I called them, and within probably less than a minute, they were there. They were tending to him and had him in good hands. They reassured him. So when you look at that, you look at Loudon Utilities, you look at everybody, it takes a large family to put this stuff on. It's not just Mark Harrell, it's guys, it's everybody. And it goes from the county and all the way down. We have a great team here. I'm very proud of that. But why I'm speaking tonight is the funding for the fireworks. It's an expensive project, but we're very proud of what we provide and what we've been able to afford. And I'll be coming to you again and asking for this funding as a new utility board. There's probably 3,000 to 5,000 people that get to see this and would never get to see an event like this. This is, for some people, it's the Morals Fair. This is as big as it gets for some people. We had 2 people come up to me and ask, where's the best viewing area for the fireworks? I said, sit right there, put your lawn chairs out. They just moved to Tennessee National. I think California's gonna hold me to that. I think that's what they said they were from. They said they just love this community and everything that's going on. So that's what we're searching for. That's what Michael's talking about. He's talking about people coming in here for Dixie Youth tournaments, and then they want to relocate here. They want to spend their money here. And that's what we're all about. Just making Loudon the best place on earth to live. I guess that's really all I have. I got a little more emotional, I guess, today to be thinking about where we were 25 years ago or 55 years ago, where we're at now. I just ask you to keep Loudon on the map, keep moving forward. I think we've done some great things. I think there's a lot of great things ahead of us. And I'm proud to be a part of it, proud to be a part of it, and hope to be a part of it in the future. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.
While you're there, Mark, I've got a couple of questions. There's 2 things that you didn't bring up that I would like to know more about. Parks and Rec moved.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't know about this.
Well, it's not really that we moved. I don't think we ever had really a permanent home. We had people kind of scattered here and there. The vision of, again, this council and this community is to eventually have a community center. I hope that happens sooner than later. Wide support for that. I've not had anyone have negative support. So the 2 members that were here were kind of out of place, and staffing here was growing, and the need for additional staffing kind of had one of our employees moving out. So in that process, the receptionist up front, the administrative assistant, I think is her official title, I've been trying to get her back with our fold and doing more of the legwork, computer work and things that she does that was kind of out of place here. So the program coordinator moves to the park. He's on site. Now the advantage of having him there is the fact that we'll basically have a park manager. That will have signage there that will say park manager on duty, park manager, whatever his title is, on duty or off duty. So as people visit the park, they have a question, they have something they need, they can address it through the program coordinator.
Where's his office gonna be at the park?
We have an office in the Van Fiscal building, he's there.
In the Van Fiscal, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
The second thing was that the other person you're talking about was to move her, to get the technology in, up and running that facility and maintenance, we really needed there. I'm the first to tell you, pen and paper is about as far as I can go. This is a technology, the technology is lacking, but to get the technology where it needs to go, I think that that was a huge move for us. She was already doing that here, but she's off site, and she's doing ordering, she does just a lot of things behind, as we well know, behind the scenes, that, she can do better.
So there was no cost to the moves, they were all coordinated.
Yes,
It's all internal moves that you.
Okay. So, but who's at our front desk now? Because she was at our front desk.
Megan's gonna be here.
So Megan's gonna be at the front desk. Is there gonna have to be job descriptions changed? Because we had to change the administrative assistants whenever Parks and Rec moved here. So will we need to adjust hers again for her
we never
move?
changed her title,
Never change it.
never.
Thought we had to change some of her job descriptions
I think you did
to
when
seat
you
her
took
at
on
the
part
front
of the
desk.
planning, but I don't think her job description or anything.
Okay. All right. Next thing, I've got.
She still is in planning, just,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
working through.
okay. Next thing is, I got word that we're putting mowing bids out. We putting mowing bids out?
Or what?
Are we putting mowing bids
Mowing
out?
bids, yes, we're preparing mowing bids, advertisements go in the paper this week for, contract renewal, which is next February. March.
This is reference to the park mowing bids, which expire this year. So we're trying, this is in preparation for mowing season. This would come to your workshop and workshop this in April after we receive everything and evaluate.
Yeah, you're just trying to get a jump on it.
So the bids are going out now for April?
The advertisement process, if you have the contractors to come in and, solicit bid packets.
And how long will they have to do that?
Approximately 6 weeks.
Yes, sir, I
This
think
is
it has to be in by the end.
extremely early to do that. So they'll have 6 weeks from Wednesday
I believe so.
for
Yeah, the bid- We,
for April bid opening?
well, we're advertising in the Loudon News Herald on Wednesday, and then, our bid due date is September 30th.
For an April opening?
I don't think
And we
it's
would open it on
April.
September
I think-
30th.
Yeah, it'll be I can't hear.
That seems awful early. I don't know why we would do it that early, because a lot can change between September and April with the companies. I mean, that's asking a lot for a company to.
It also
Still
takes a
till
while, to ramp up the ability to do this type of service as well, so.
Yeah.
I think it's good to be prepared. You don't want to do anything last minute.
Yeah, well, I think we're getting it in way early for some reason. That seems extremely early.
When would the award date be?
September.
Yeah, we would bring this to the city council for a workshop in October.
Okay.
The bid tabulations.
So the award, contract will be awarded by November, first part of
It'd
November?
be
It could be,
awarded in
it could be considered at your regular October meeting at the end of the month.
Okay. With
April start date. or
with an
something.
April start date?
No,
No, we're
March.
March. Okay.
March.
So it's given,
Current contract ends in February.
so basically, we're soliciting now, award in November, and gives whoever about 4 months to prepare to execute contract in March, correct?
Yes, sir.
And like I said, just, with the parks, there's a lot to consider. As far as the mowing.
Well, there's other things to go with this because we've got some contractors and there was a contract that was pulled. Was there a contract pulled?
No.
There wasn't a contractor that said they can't mow anymore?
We didn't pull the contract, no.
Okay,
The contractor,
I'll be very blunt about it. We had a contractor who was also a city employee and was told they could no longer do the job because they were a city employee after they'd been awarded the contract. Why?
he's here, you may want to ask him.
Well, yeah, he didn't pull it. We pulled it.
It wasn't full.
Well, I told him to finish
Is he still
I
doing
told him to
it?
finish the term,
Okay,
because I
I
felt
get to finish the term, but since we're talking about it, there was a renewal clause in there if both parties were happy. We didn't have to go through the bidding process again. It wasn't supposed to go out to rebid if both parties were happy with it. And that was the agreement, right, Mark?
It's in there that the contract can be extended if both parties agree on it, I can't remember what the contract was.
okay, so he was told that he couldn't bid again.
I got told I couldn't bid again because I work at Loudon Utilities.
I'm sorry, and who are you? I'm sorry.
I'm Jamie Miller.
Okay, thank you, Jane.
So before we go to putting out bids, let's make sure that we got this correct. Why can't he have a mowing
Attorney Frey, you want to,
contract?
you've got the policy, I think.
Yeah, it's within the city's code of ethics. It applies to all full-time and part-time employees of the city or the utilities. That you cannot have a financial interest in a matter regulated or supervised by the city.
Okay, Attorney Frey, I can ask you this, because I've tried to distance myself, even though I own the company. It's a privately owned company. My daughter, can she mow?
If this says that any financial ownership or employment interest of the official or the employee's spouse, parent, step-parent, grandparent, sibling, children, or stepchildren.
So you're gonna take it away from an adult child?
That's what our code of ethics says. So,
Okay, so we just did another boo-boo then. We just voted in an employee, a part-time employee to do pressure washing because the bid was 4 times cheaper than the other bid?
That's $4,000, I think.
Yeah, the other bid was what, 20?
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me.
So if you're saying full-time, part-time, then K-Tech cannot do that cleaning. And we sat here and allowed it and nobody said a word about it?
I wasn't aware that
I wasn't
he was
aware.
an employee.
That's a part-time employee.
Yeah, he just said full-time or part-time.
I mean, K-Tech,
Mhm.
you got a part-time employee right there that owns that company.
Is it ownership
'Cause I don't
interest?
know who it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he owns it or not. I mean, I guess he does. I don't know.
Okay, guys, come on.
I don't know.
I mean, I know
I
he
mean,
has a company that pressure washes, yes.
Okay, Jeff,
I
when
don't
you're
know
saying
who
that,
you're
let me
talking
ask you
about.
this then. So are you gonna ask for paperwork from somebody to see if they work for JM Owner or own it? Do you ask for that even though it's a privately owned company?
I don't ask for it. I mean,
Does the city ask for it?
I mean, it should be part of the bid requirements that you comply with the city's code of ethics.
Well, maybe is it part of the process?
I
don't know either.
I haven't seen the bid packet this year.
How do we verify that it is part of the process, that
I mean,
they acknowledge that they don't have?
They have to sign, as part of the bid process, they have to sign several representations.
Do any of those representations cover that specifically, that they acknowledge?
It does now, sir.
It does.
The
does
revised
now?
bid packet does.
okay,
Okay,
So-
and help me, I mean, being the new guy, who are we talking about when you're talking about on the pressure washing?
That's what I
we
don't know.
have a
who you're
part-time police officer that owns K-Tech Exteriors, which we were fully aware of, and he was actually recommended by someone that sits on this board. And now we voted him in, but we just said that he can't mow because he's an employee.
So the question came back, mine is about process, and that's where I always wanna make sure we're doing it. So what was the process to make sure that what we just voted on, that we are aware of such conflicts before we vote? How do we make sure we don't do that?
Kathy Price solicited these bids, and it basically, a quasi grant application, and we just weren't aware of this fact. We'll look into this now.
Well, that's why I'm
And I was
gonna,
aware he's a part-time policeman, how much he works, I couldn't tell you.
Well, where's the stipulation?
It doesn't make a difference.
Okay. If he's listed as a part-time, but if they're listed as an employee or a part-time employee.
So now, so we don't take his bid, we're gonna pay $21,000 to pressure.
Never
wash
solicit or
down.
solicit other bids.
we'll have to start over.
well, with that being said, then I would make a motion to reconsider our previous motion until we can investigate and do it the correct way.
Well, my concern is, we've always supported our employees, and I don't see anything at all wrong with supporting our employees. I don't think that that's anything illegal. I do think that you will receive a letter from the auditor asking about the situation, which is filled out just like we receive a letter from the auditor asking about our financial situations with the city of Loudon every year.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with that. I don't agree with not allowing your employees.
Well, I mean, I guess it's always something you.
I don't agree with it either, but it's something we're gonna have
Council
to
can
change in our
policy.
charter.
If you, I mean, you can change the policy
Is it
if you
not?
want to.
I mean, you need to have that information before you vote.
Yes.
What were we doing to all of a sudden, here we are, the majority of the way through the season, and then boom, all of a sudden now, you can't mow. We've allowed it this whole time, but now you can't.
I think it goes back to what I'm saying is, I don't think we had an effective process in place to catch the information prior to votes. But now we've asked that to be put in place, so we're better informed. But with that, Mr. Mayor, I have a motion on the floor to reconsider.
Okay, we have a motion to reconsider the sidewalk and awning.
Yes.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll say.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any questions about that? The motion is on the floor. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, so we'll, thanks for bringing that up.
Well, one thing, these things should have been brought to council. I'm sorry, but if we have a contractor that is told they can no longer bid on something because they're a city employee, we voted on that contract. It needs to be brought before us. It doesn't need to be found out through the community. And when bids are gonna be going in the newspaper next week, it doesn't need to be found out through the newspaper. That is way early, and I don't know what the point in is doing that. I can make a few guesses, but that's, I'm sorry, guys, this is just, and I want
I
it
wasn't
on,
aware the bids were going out.
I want it on the next agenda that we look at that part of the chart. Because we have employees who have mowing businesses, pressure washing businesses, sign companies, striping businesses, and every one of them we've used, and we've benefited from them because the majority of the time, they will give us a better deal than anybody else because they're part of us. And now we're gonna have to go outside of our area to find other people because we can't use you. You provide a service in your spare time. It's not like you're out here mowing when you're working. You're mowing on your spare time when you're off the clock. I don't see why we should punish those employees who work hard for us.
Well, I think it goes back to Councilmember Cardwell, it's the process. So we.
Yeah, I think it just, it needs to be fully disclosed and vetted and find out whether or not it is indeed a conflict of interest. Or
Well, let's please put that on. I want to see that on the agenda for October's workshop.
That's fine.
And I want to hold off on September's workshop, I'm sorry, I don't know what month it is. I want to hold off on the bids going in the newspaper for mowing until we get this cleared up. I think that's only fair.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
You can do anything you want to me, okay? But don't penalize my daughter that's worked hard in this business, creating it, working hard. Tim Dixon knows her firsthand. Like I said, you can do anything you want to me. She runs the whole mowing side of my business. Yes, I work at Loudon Utilities, I'm proud of it, been there going on 14 years. But she's helped me since she was 7 years old. She's 24 years old. She's a grown lady.
Yeah.
And I will put it in her name if you can get rid of the child part of that.
Right, and it goes back to having full, not every interest is a conflict of interest. It's just, it goes back, it's just like on this board can vote on things that affect them personally as long as those things are disclosed. Same thing with these bids, their ties to the city of Loudon need to be fully disclosed so that they can be evaluated and find out whether or not that has an outcome on the job. And I know that we're working on that, and, again, I didn't know anything about the vote earlier this evening, so.
Okay, well, we'll put it on the September workshop, we'll discuss it.
Can something along that line be amended to,
Yeah.
or a new resolution be
Yeah.
added to?
Yeah, this is not a part of our charter, this is a part of the code of, this can be changed by ordinance.
So that's our method of
City
doing it.
code as
Yeah.
opposed to charter.
We're gonna have this on the next agenda, right? Will it be on the next agenda to
should
be on our workshop?
We
Yes.
can have that, sure.
Yeah.
Should be.
And are the
Just
voting
to be
bids
aware
gonna
of
be
it.
held off?
Megan may be aware of it, but the deadline for the News Herald can be stopped.
I will do what I can tomorrow.
It can be stopped.
Okay. I just-
for same
Be
law.
able to
It
change.
it should be able to, I promise you, they can get something in there on the Tuesday night for Wednesday paper, it can be stopped.
Okay, so we'll have that on workshop for September, and we'll discuss that. Any changes that recommended by council, we can address on that. That's the proper way to do it, is to fine tune the process. It's not a personal attack on an individual or anything like that. It's just we need to have full disclosure.
Right, and follow the rules.
Okay,
And,
all right. All right,
Barry Marshall with CMI is here, so when you guys adjourn, he'll be out with the new leaf truck, so.
Okay.
Gather around and check it out. Thank you.
okay. All right, council member reports. Tammy, you have anything else?
Solid waste will meet, the second Tuesday of September, we have several new board members in place.
Okay, all right. Vice Mayor Dixon?
Your Honor, Planning Commission, they came about the closing of Green Street, Gay Street, just like we talked about, between Poplar and Hackberry, that was approved. Then a rezoning request, professional and civic to R3, an urban, residential district applicant Derek Jones, Sterling Engineering, property owner, Loudon County Habitat and Humanity on Carter Machine Road. That was approved.
Okay. All right. Councilor Webster, have anything from Recreation Advisory?
We will meet Wednesday. This coming Wednesday? Yes.
Yeah.
31st,
31st.
yeah, there it is, advertising.
Oh, 31st.
31st at
31st.
5 o'clock.
And
5 o'clock in here, this
the
room.
public is invited.
Okay.
The public is invited.
August 31st, 5 o'clock.
The Dunbar School is next.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's one.
Tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
2:30?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. That's, one of my things I was gonna remind everybody, that August 23rd at 2:30 is the presentation at the Dunbar School. You have anything, Mr. Cardwell?
No, thank you.
We do have some, anniversaries, quite a few. The city, Marco Luna, Loudon Police Department, 1 year. Michael Hogan, 2 years. Thank you, Michael, for 2 years. Brian McFall, 7 years, Loudon Fire Department. Sean Bivens, 14 years, Facilities and Maintenance. Love Clifton, 16 years, Loudon Police Department. Billy Rowland, 26 years, Facility and Maintenance. Mark Harvey, 27 years, Loudon Fire Department. And the old man, Kenny Ridings, 31 years, Loudon Police Department. With the utilities, Ty Davis, 2 years, the water treatment plant. Ryan Moore is in the accounting department. He's been 3 years. Clifton Henry, 5 years with the electric. Tony Thompson, 8 years with the water plant. Chad Lane, wastewater, 9 years. Brian Lindsay, 10 years, sewer department. Brad Parks, 21 years, wastewater treatment plant. Clay Townsend and Lynn Davis, Chairman Campbell recognized them and the utility board meeting. They were both hired the same day. One's in the sewer department, one's in the gas department, 25 years. And then Chucky Hughes, 27 years at the wastewater treatment plant. So I want to thank all those employees for their service to the city and to the utilities. And I guess you have some birthdays, Vice Mayor?
I do. Administration Department, Michael Hogan, August 2nd. Melissa Huskins, August 23rd. Police Department, Brendan DeBoer, August 23rd. Ben Everett, August 22nd. The Fire Department, Bill James, August 22nd. Brian McFalls, August 24th. Matthew Pointer, August 2nd. Robert Simmons, August the 9th. The Public Works, Jason Bivens, August 7th. Bill Collis Jr., August the 20th. The Gas Water Sewer Department, C.B. Houston, August 7th. Larry Miller, August 18th. Brian Lindsay, August the 4th. And Clay Townsend, August 6th. Engineering, Larry Joe Dockery, August 17th. Water Treatment Plant, Chris Dotson, August 21st. And Customer Service, Kathy Ridings, August 16th. That's it.
A lot of people had birthdays
They did.
and anniversary dates in August.
They did. That's it.
Manager Ross, you have any other comments?
No, sir.
Comment, Megan, you got everything you need
far as I know.
for the minutes and notes? Attorney Fry, you have anything?
No.
Just, my kind of Monday motivation, just, one act of kindness can change somebody's entire day, if we think about it. One act of kindness can just change somebody's time, their entire day can be different, just from one act of kindness we do, so try to find that act of kindness. No objections, we'll stand adjourned. Thank y'all for coming.
7:45.
45.
Oh, she's on the phone.